Now, Britain's King Charles III will be kicking off a 3 day state visit to France. The monarch will be accompanied by Queen Camilla. The visit was initially planned for March but was pushed back due to strikes over pension reform. The couple will be officially welcomed by the French President Emmanuel Macron and the First Lady at the Arc de Triomphe in Paris before a state banquet at the Palace of Versailles later on today. We can go bring in France 24's Philip to talk us through what's happening where you are.
Well, first of all, Delano, apologies for not being in vision to talk to you from the Arc de Triomphe, but it's due to the fact that we've had to wait a very long time for our accreditation to go to the press zone and haven't had time to set up our cameras yet. But we are at the Arc de Triomphe, where King Charles is due to arrive within the next hour or so, accompanied, as you said, by Queen Camilla. A very packed agenda for the King on this first day of his visit. He will be at the Arc de Triomphe, where he will be met by President Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron, the President's wife. They will then light the flame to the unknown soldier, which is under the Arc de Triomphe, before travelling down the Champs-Élysées in two separate vehicles to greet the crowds on either side. That part of the visit will then end in the Elysee Palace, where King Charles will discuss pressing international issues with Emmanuel Macron, probably to include the war in Ukraine, the migrant crisis, and global warming, which are three issues that the King would like to talk to Emmanuel Macron with and about. But that's not all for today. After that is over, the King will later this afternoon will travel to the Palace of Versailles, which is about 30 kilometres outside of Paris, for a dinner in the Galerie des Glaces, which is the mirror hall on the first floor of the Château de Versailles. A lot of pomp and circumstance lined up for King Charles III on this first day of a 3 day visit to France.
And Philip, how symbolic is this visit by Charles III to France, and is it symbolic for the British and the French public?
Well, I think that it's definitely symbolic. We won't know what the discussions are between Emmanuel Macron and King Charles, because there's no common press conference, of course, and there will be no statement issued at the end of the visit. It remains just confidential discussions between the two leaders. But the symbolic part is that, as we all know, Britain left the European Union back in 2016. Relations between Britain and France have been strained over Brexit and also over the migrant crisis. I think this is a way of the British government, which has given, of course, the green light to King Charles to come to France. This is a way of the British government saying that France is still a friend. It is still in close contact with Europe. And a visit by King Charles to France is a way of showing that there are no hard feelings on the part of the British, and that even there may be a move towards closer relations with the EU in the future, which is something that we know that Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister, is keen to work towards.